wired in a new fuse holder, and I also wired in a switch. The reason I wired in a switch is so that we can turn this leg off. I suppose I could have just pulled the fuse, but I had this nice switch. Normally what you would do is put in a three-way switch, on, off, or auto. But in this case, I have the feed coming from the battery, and the other one is coming from the panel. So I didn't want to get into the panel, so I just decided to put a single switch here. So with this in place, I'll go back under the sink. I left this flashlight under the sink and turned on all week. Can you believe it? From Sunday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Here is the port side of the boat before we cleaned the water line. Notice the yellowish scum across there. Here is the starboard side of the boat where we have cleaned the water line. It's a small task, but it makes a really big difference. So when I arrived here today, the pressure water didn't work. So when I was here last, I must have knocked this connection loose because these two wires were apart. That's one of the reasons why you don't use wire nuts. So I hooked them back together and it's working. That's the water for this, for the sinks and the shower, etc. So I started looking at the way the wire is run. So it comes from the pump down to this, through here, out here, and then that wire goes back down through there and to those clips. So I'm thinking, why don't we just run the wires from those clips up to the pump instead of coming all the way out here and around and then back up there again. So I know I'm supposed to be working on the bilge pump wiring, but this is sort of in my way, and well, not my way so much, but this is an opportunity to get that cleaned up and out of the way, and with good connectors, because obviously these wire nuts are, they could fall off at any moment, and I have no water pressure, and then I have to go searching for a problem. So I'm going to shorten up these lines and put good connectors on. So I wired the pump. Let's see if it works. Ah, nice sound. Did you hear that? If not, proof. Okay, I haven't finished the bilge pump wiring yet, but I did some intermediate steps. And I haven't put the switch in yet, but I've put these blocks in place to try to keep it all straight and to shorten things up. So now I'll throw the switch and see if at least the pump turns on. And if it does, I'll continue on to wire in the other hot lead from the battery and the switch, float switch. Hear that? Beautiful. Okay, the wiring is done. Needs to be tested before I hang these things on the wall over there. So let's test it. So the first test will be just regular old, using the pump on that breaker switch here. Listen. Ah, sweet sound. All right, now let's turn the batteries off. We've gone home for the weekend. We put our fuse back in here. Okay, this switch I think is on. Reach in with our giant screwdriver. Lift the float switch. Ah, beautiful sound. Okay, that's functional. That's great, because that's something that was on my mind, which had to be done by launch. Today is Saturday, launch is Monday, unless I postpone it. But I'm trying not to. I'm trying to get enough stuff done so we can put the boat in the water. Well, I put some water in the bilge to test. The pump doesn't seem to be moving any water. Very disappointing. Well, that's why I put this switch here, so I could test things, turn off the power to test things out. So this should stop the pump. That's good. So maybe there's something stuck in the pump. Let me take that out. Well, there was nothing in there, and that didn't seem to fix anything. So I disconnected the hose from the pump. Now I'll throw the switch on. So I don't think the problem is the pump. The pump is moving water. Are we back to clogged hoses again? Oi. So my new theory is either the pump is a little bit too high or the float switch is a little bit too low. I added more water and it seems to work. I mean, at least it seems to pump. The problem is now the pump is basically stopped. It's too low to pump water now, but the switch hasn't gone off yet. So the pump is too high or the switch is too low. I'll have to see which one is going to be easier to move. I bought an assortment of fuses because I have no idea what size I need. Okay, today was the second to last work day before launch date. So I wanted to get all the bilge pump wiring done, and I did, auto switch and everything. But the setback is that the pump is too high or the switch is too low, because whereas it turns on, it does not turn off because the pump cannot make the water level low enough to turn the switch off. And when it turns on, there's not really enough of a height of water to let the pump get started. It's trying to grab the water, but it's just out of reach for it. So one of those two things has to change tomorrow. Since I can't get at where the float switch is, and I don't want to try to install a new one in a different location, because remember, we're getting new float switches later on as part of another project. So what I think I'm going to do is try to lower the pump, which means taking out those two plastic squares and trying to attach the pump basket right down to the floor of the bilge, which means I'll probably glue it in, which is probably a horrible idea, but I can't think of a way to get it any lower, and I really don't want to drill holes in the bottom of the bilge because that could introduce leaks. Also, on the positive side, the yard did the cutlass bearing. It looks like a nice job, and that's not holding us up any longer. I touched up the paint around the cutlass bearing, the strut, etc. I painted the prop, so that area is taken care of. I also did some other touch up on the bottom paint, little spots that we had missed or they weren't good. So that's taken care of. So then my father and I spent some time cleaning the starboard side of the boat. We really couldn't clean the port side of the boat because the boat right next to us, the guys were painting, and at one point we got a little bit of mist on them, and they asked us to please don't do that because they were painting. And yes, they were right. We really need to, be polite to our neighbors and more aware of what they're doing. So on the starboard side, we cleaned the water line with we use this cleaner called, I think it's called On and Off or something like that, and it does a nice job of getting the bathtub ring off the boat. Where we keep the boat, it's very silty and there's a lot of marine life and a lot of algae, so a little bit of pond scummish sort of stuff accumulates around the water line, and that on and off stuff is very good at cleaning that off. It's not good as a cleaner for other things like like anything, but it does very well on the pond scum. So that was done, and I did a washing on that side of the boat. I used regular old boat soap on the side, and so it's looking pretty good. Actually, whoever put the wax on last year, the previous owner or friends or family or employee, whichever, did an excellent job. The wax is actually still there for the most part, so it lasted through the winter. I still want to redo it though, because I want it to last all summer. So the hope is we can get that done before launch date, which means it has to be done tomorrow. So for tomorrow, the last day before launch, have to figure out that problem with the bilge pump, and we have to try to get the waxing done as much as possible. If these things just don't come together, I'm going to postpone the launch. I don't want to. It's already the middle of June. This is killing me. But if I have to, I will. The second job I hired the yard for was to fix the fuel lines. There's an air leak in the fuel lines. They're not going to do that until the boat's in the water. So even though we'll launch the boat, we can't take it away and go have some fun quite yet. We have to get that job done as well. So at least while that's being done, the boat will be in Portland, close to home. I'll be able to get down here to work on it. It's about a 20-minute drive for me to come down to work on the boat. Once the boat is down in Old Saybrook, it's more like a 50-minute to an hour trip to get down there. So this is much more convenient, although once the boat's ready to sail, we want to be down in Saybrook. But in the spring, we usually have a nice trip down the Connecticut River. Usually you can't sail it because there's no wind. So it's a little motor trip, but it's pleasant. We've never done it this late in the year, so I expect the river to be busier, and it should be quite nice. The weather should be quite nice. I just took my shop vac down the ladder to empty it out, and lo and behold, it had sucked up a stainless steel hose clamp. So there's a good find. Yay. One more thing I don't have to buy. So after emptying out the bilge, prying off the plastic pieces, which didn't give me much of a fight coming off. I was a little disappointed on that, but anyway, I put the pump right down against the floor. Before I glue anything, I'm going to try it. I'm going to put something in here to hold the pump down for sure. And then I'm going to add water and see if this is a height that will work with where the float switch is at currently. Properly wedged in, the pump is ready for test. No, it's turned off. It didn't click on. I don't know what's going on. Is it going out the back?
Yeah.
And the water is still running in from the stern. Water ran in from the stern. Was running in from the stern bilge still.
Something just shut off.
It did shut off. Now and then when the water rushes back in from the hose.
Let's see if it goes on.
Right. Well, it didn't go on last time. The angle, the way, the place the switch was like caught on something. So I got to try to turn it. There's the current batteries. There are the new ones. So the new batteries are in place, and I realized that I did not remember to get tops for the battery boxes. So that remains to be done. But sweet. So the bilge pump is now, the basket is glued right to the bottom of the bilge. That's in place and the glue is drying right now. The bilge is empty. I repositioned the float switch so that it doesn't get caught on anything, hopefully, from going forward, because that's what was one of the problems, is the float switch was getting caught on the edge of the bilge wall. So hopefully that's straightened out. The height seems to be good when we tested, and new batteries are in place. So launch day was supposed to be tomorrow, Monday. I moved it, but only till Tuesday. I'm going to come here after work tomorrow and hook up the bilge pump, put the hose on it so the water will go up and out. So thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing. That's a way to show support, and it doesn't cost you anything, so there you go. Please leave a comment. Like to hear what you think. Be kind, please. And that's it for this time. So we'll catch up next week, and hopefully the boat will be in the water if nothing bad happened. And we can then wait for the yard to fix the fuel lines. So that's something else I hired them for. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your spring. Yum. Go away.